According to a September 2020 report by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the suicide rate for pediatric patients rose from 57.4% from 2007 to 2018. This problem has arose from the little box that sits inside of our pocket. Every day we use social media in some form, whether it's directions on your way to work or looking up something on the internet. We strive to get the answers that we are looking for. If we don't get that certain text message or notification when we post something on social media, our anxiety rises. Well, at least mine does. It's a constant self-esteem builder. Social media is a part of everyday life for teens. All of this social media usage has positive and negative effects. Today, I will be informing you about the impact of social media, the mental effects of social media, and the addiction of social media to persuade you that social media has become a very negative asset in today's world. The impact of social media can either be good or bad. So what really is the difference? Every day, we open whatever social media app sent us a notification. That right there depicts how our day will go. Let's first focus on the positive aspects of social media. First, it's great for communication. Without it, you wouldn't be able to stay in close contact with family or friends. You can instantly send a message or a phone call rather than waiting days for a letter or seeing them in person to have a conversation. Many people have been able to express their sexuality and identity. Therefore, coming out has become easier for some people. Accessing information has become so much easier. Being able to try to find answers to your question by just asking Siri or just typing it in on your phone or computer is way easier than going to go look in an encyclopedia. It also creates such an open range for exploring interests, like what you want to do for a job or choosing a career or college. Now, with so many positives, there's also negatives too. There's a chance that you watch other people living their perfect lives with no struggle. But here's the reality, no one has a perfect life. Everyone knows that, but people still act like they have a perfect life. Just as you access many resources, some of them can be unreliable and not true. Social media can also put you in danger of other people. You may think you are messaging your friend, but what if it's some random person who is trying to find your location? Not everyone is who they say they are. Teens who spend more than 3 hours a day on social media are more likely to develop mental health issues. There are many mental effects when it comes to social media. Sometimes the effects can be positive, but most of the time they can be negative. Who doesn't love taking the perfect picture and posting it online? But what if no one likes it? That is all part of our self-esteem and body image. When we begin comparing ourselves to others, we don't see that not everything is realistic on social media. We just see that their life is more perfect than ours, and if we're not perfect, we're not good enough for the world. Eating disorders can also happen, such as anorexia or bulimia. It's basically when you make yourself throw up, and people think that makes themselves look skinnier. Many mental diseases stem from self-esteem and not being able to be enough. Depression is a common disease in our world today, and many people are affected by it. Many people believe depression is linked to the adoption of smartphones in our world. Rather than connecting with someone in person, this generation connects electronically. Self-harm is what many teens turn to when they feel alone in this world. Many teenagers, when they begin cutting for relief, it's usually to the arms or legs. Other substances include drugs or alcohol. Suicide stems from depression and feeling like you have no other options left. Suicide is the second leading cause of children in America, and cyberbullying is something very common that promotes this outcome, sadly. Anxiety is also another mental illness that stems from social media. Anxiety is something that we all feel at points in our life, but it's the fear of being left out, or lonely. We always search for gratification from our social media addiction, and we begin to obsess and become compulsive because we're looking for that constant need of gratification. Many people have even developed OCD, which is called obsessive compulsive disorder. All good things come with moderation. Teenagers are just as susceptible to becoming addicted to social media as they are to drugs or alcohol. Now, you may be wondering, what is the reason that addiction to social media can harm you? You won't receive enough physical activity, which helps generate a sense of accomplishment, like feeling your worth. There's nothing, like it helps you feel better about yourself. According to Dr. Hamlet, kids who are spending a lot of time on devices are not getting much in return to make them feel good about themselves. Being physically active can help you feel better about yourself than any notification or social media website. So, what are the signs that you are becoming addicted to social media? Well, some are you would rather sit at home with social media and be on your phone than hang out with your real friends. Others include becoming distracted at school or on your schoolwork, engaging in dangerous or risky behaviors in order to gain more likes on certain apps. Sleep deprivation has become a common cause because of the light that your phone produces. If you already have anxiety or depression, the symptoms will most likely worsen. Now you're probably wondering, is there anything you can do to help? Yes, and I'm gonna tell you how. First, you need to begin to track how much time you spend on social media each day. You can create these time limits for certain apps that you are on too much, which can help regulate and say, oh, you spend 2 hours on this app, that's enough for today. Turning your phone off at certain times of the day when you're trying to be productive, which can help you get certain things done when you're working on school or schoolwork or even at a job. You don't need to bring it with you everywhere, especially to bed, so charging it in a different room is most likely better. Disabling certain notifications so you don't have the urge to always check them. And last but not least, try removing the apps that don't hold any significance in your personal well-being. Overall, addiction has had a grasp on the children of today. Now you have learned about the impact of social media, the mental effects of social media, and the addiction of social media to persuade you that social media has become a very negative asset in today's world. Social media is a part of everyday life for teens. All of this social media usage has positive and negative effects. I hope after listening to this speech, you will realize that social media has more negative effects than positive. If you are willing to let your teenager use social media and use this tiny metal box, be mindful of the negative aspects it can have on their health and well-being.